Hello and welcome to this VXD music tutorial session. In today's session we're going to be comparing Captain Chords with Scalar. So today I wanted just to compare these two VST, what I call chord MIDI type of inspiration softwares. And I'm the first one to admit 2 years ago I would have said absolutely never using this. I'm a creator and I want to create my own music in my own way, and that was it. Fast forward 2 years, I'm a complete convert, and the reason for that is because these VSTs don't actually inhibit your creativity. In fact, I would say they enhance your creativity. In the past, whenever I made a song and I put chords together, I would play an A minor chord, an E minor chord, a C chord, but I was a pretty basic keyboard player and I had very basic skills. I used to mess around with the MIDI, but basically at the end of the day I was limited. I was limited to my abilities as a keyboard player, and I was playing in the same chords. After a while the song started sounding the same because I had a limited palette of chords that I could pick from. So let's start with Captain Chords. Let's not waste any time. After you've installed Captain Chords, you've got these 4 VST options. So you've got Captain Chords. It's the VST that creates most of the chords, or all of your chords. You've got Captain Deep, which is a bass line follower of those chords, and it connects together with Captain Chords. And then you have something called Captain Melody, which is similar to Captain Deep, but instead of bass line, it is a lead generation tool that, once again, it follows the chords in Captain Chords, so they're designed to work together. And then finally you've got Captain Play, which is more of a live playing tool, which is pretty handy, but I actually don't use it because I'm a creator and I actually don't play live. As of 2019 I don't play live, but you never know, that could change. So the first thing you'll see here with Captain Chords is that this only works online. If you're offline, this will not function at all. To many people that's a deal breaker. Not to me, because I actually I'm online quite a lot, and I actually just take the MIDI out of this and put it into my DAW. There are a lot of other options out there in the marketplace allow you to play offline, but this is not one of them. The first thing you see when you open Captain Chords is A minor. But you can change the key. If you want to play in B flat minor, this is something I would never be able to do in my wildest dreams. There you go, you've got B flat minor. But let's go back to A. In terms of scale, there's lots of choices. You've got majors, minors, you've got Hungarian minors. There are just things I've never even heard of. So the first thing you see is progression. You just have I. It just means one chord. So if you press the shift button, so that progression just plays an A minor, a very basic A minor indeed. If you click on the progression, you get of options, and you click on one of them, and let's click on just one of these ones here. Click on this one, and you can hear different combinations. They get more and more complicated as you get down right to the bottom. I tend to like, this one's A minor, F, that's too repetitive. I tend to like a minor with a major and then something different. So let's see what this one sounds like. And this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. Okay, I don't know what you just experiment. You can actually go back. So let's press OK. Once you've selected those, the 4 chords come up, and the progression can be changed at any time. So if you think it doesn't sound good, you could just go and change it. You can actually change it very quickly up here. I'm going to stick to A minor. Once you've selected the timing and the progression, so it's one measure for each, you go to inversion. You can actually, what you can do is select one of these. Select this one here, and then you can click these different types of inversion. So the minimize leap literally means between chord progressions there's not much change. But you can change it to first inversion. You can change it to second inversion. But I'm going to go back to minimize leap. As a default, the octaves are very high. You can bring them down. Let's hear what it sounds like with a lower octave. And you can change the complexity. Let's make it a little bit more complex. And you'll notice I'm only making the first chord complex, so I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to select all and just make all of it complex. Actually, I'm going to make them complex one at a time. I don't think you can select all and make them all complex. So let's hear what it sounds like. This is just the complexity just adds another note to the chord. Actually, it's quite deep actually, and that's not too bad. Then you've got flavor, which means you can add a 7th note or a 9th note. I'm not going to do that for now. And you've got timing. So timing is more of a rhythmic thing. Let's hear that one. Let's listen to this one. So you've got complex and simple. I'm going to stick to simple. Okay, so French has got quite a nice sort of rhythmic sound to it, so that's pretty cool. What you can do then after that is do a strum. I think that works better with slower songs. Let me just put that down a bit. Then you can do space. The space can be defined by percentage, by legato, by the shortest notes, the longest notes. You can visually see the difference. I think space is one of these ones where less equals more. So just do that. And finally, you've got the sounds. As a default, you always have these piano sound. But you can choose anything. You can choose plucks. Pretty cool. I mean, it's really very EDM orientated, and all the sounds are within the system. So while this is going, you can increase the octave, decrease the octave, change to first inversion, change to second inversion, and minimize leap, which is where I tend to keep it. You can also change the chord structure. D minor if you want it. The other thing you can do is increase the delay or the reverb, or decrease it. There's no delay now. Increase the reverb or reduce the reverb to nothing. There's different types of reverbs. You could do a plate reverb, spring, room, or hall, which is the default. If we put it right down to the bottom, let's hear what the delay sounds like. There's Pong delay, there's 16, free eights, loads of creative possibilities. You can also change the filter as well. You can add more chords and more chords, and then you can start messing around, changing, and it just gives you suggestions for chords that should be there. So if we listen to the next two chords, let's listen to the whole thing again. So that's not that good, so Control Z undoes everything. The other thing you could do is you can split the chords. So once you select, say, arrange here, you could click on split. You can find out some information about the chord for those of you who want to learn about the chord. So it's got pretty much everything you need. So what I like to do is here on the bottom right hand side, you can actually see a little drawing of how your clip looks, and then click this and drag this onto the DAW. This is on a blank MIDI. I'm going to just put a nice piano on there, so I'm going to put a contact grandeur on there. This is literally creating, at the end of the day, MIDI information. Once you have it into the system, you can do anything you want to the sound. Make it sharper, softer. So you've got something called Captain Deep, so let's just bring that in. Captain Deep needs to connect to Captain Chords. It just doesn't work by itself. And once you press the connect button, it follows the chord that you put in. It's so simple. The options are very similar, but as a default, it gives you an offbeat sound. Offbeat, every beat, every measure, and it gets more. You can get more complicated. So we'll go to jump. Complex has lots of options. Go to go to. Dutch. Stay still. Loaded. Venice. So we'll stick with Venice, and you can change your sounds. Sounds aren't too bad actually. And once you mess around with the filter, delay, change the volume, but it's basically a bass generator. So let's bring that into an equivalent track. Let's create another MIDI track here. It works the same way. You just bring the MIDI in, get a bass going from there. Let's get a pad going from Synth Master again. Just increase this by an octave. Not the best sound in the world by Synth Master, so let's change the sound. Anyway, you get the picture. So that is Captain Chords in a nutshell. Captain Melody, it's exactly the same as Captain Deep. Not exactly, it's more for melody making. And I'll be honest, I very rarely, click connect, very rarely use it. So you can see with Captain Melody there are some possibilities that will take a bit of learning. So that's the Captain VSTs. That's only halfway through this tutorial. Now what we want to do now is compare Captain Chords with Scalar. So Scalar does the same job as Captain Chords, but it does it in a completely different way. So the first thing to know about Scalar, and one thing where Captain Chords really does beat Scalar, is the interface. I don't know why, but on this dark interface I really struggle to see, and I do have a small laptop, I do struggle to see Scalar and all the options. It's just a small little interface. It's not really expandable or anything like that. It's not the greatest interface. So what is Scalar? Scalar does the same job as Captain Chords, but what it does is it gives you inspiration. It doesn't really help you much with the rhythmic element like Captain Chords. This is more, here's a bunch of artists. Let's take Leon Switch. And these are the chords that he uses in one of his songs. So we can go to this guy and hear one of his songs, First Take. So what they're giving us are the chords that other artists have used in their songs. And these are famous songs, well, so relatively famous. I haven't heard of any of the artists except for the Tender Trap, and I have also heard of MJ Cole, who was my favorite, actually. So MJ Cole's chords are just beautiful. So what you get is this piano sound, and just a clean piano sound, and you get the chords that other artists have come up with in their songs. In addition, there's a section that is organized by genre. So if you're keen on EDM, you got 6 different EDM templates. So let's start with EDM 5. I mean, that does sound like EDM, doesn't it? And if you there's lots of other really nice sounding chord combinations. So you can just mix and match them. Then you've got scales, which I'm not going to go into, and you can actually save your own. So for example, I've saved this set here. So you can do a bunch of things. So if we go back to the MJ Cole set, what you can do is this. So basically, the MJ Cole set that we're looking at here is in the A flat key. You can decrease the octave, so it'll be much lower, or increase it, obviously. Or you can increase it by a semitone, so it goes from A flat to A minor. Okay, and you'll notice as you increase your semitone or decrease it, the first note is your key, and these also change as well. So let's go. So I'm increasing it, decreasing it. Just bring it back to A flat. And what I mean by these are Dorian mode, Mixolydian mode, Lydian mode, major, minor, Locrian, and Phrygian. Okay, and what's really handy is it tells you the style or the feeling that you get from these types of chords. So Phrygian is a Latin lively feel, Locrian is complex, unstable, minor is sad, which we know already, major is happy, Lydian is dreamy, hopeful. Even though MJ Cole's chords are in B flat scale, the Lydian mode's in D flat, and you can see the alternative chords here, right? So I'm just going to reduce it one octave. And then you can hear the chord variations. Chord variations for E flat. Minor scales in F. Let's go to voicings. Let's increase the octave. So that's a flavor of how you could use this. And in terms of selecting the chords, you can literally drag any of these boxes into here. So, and then you can play. You can then drag those chords here. Okay, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, and actually, I don't even bother with these if I like the sound of a chord. So if we go back to MJ Cole, we select MJ Cole free. Say I like this chord here. Just literally drag the chord, and let's get a variation of that. We'll get a Phrygian variation of that. You know what, we'll just bring that B flat major into here. And we'll bring the G sus in there as well. So, and then you can select the loop and put a piano sound in there. Then loop this. Consolidate. And once you're in, you start messing around and you can come up with all sorts of nice things. So you'll notice that I'm not even looking at scalar anymore. Scalar is that initial thing that you bring up to give yourself some inspiration. So scalar can do some other things which are cool. It attempts arpeggio, so let's listen to the arpeggio. And it's got an options thing here, preferences, and you could do all sorts of stuff. I tend to not use the arpeggio very much. And strumming. Strumming is the nicest feature. This is actually very difficult to program. And I do like strumming, and I use strumming a lot. There are some options with strumming in terms of the type of strumming, if you want it fast, medium, if you want it to be down or up or whatever, but I just tend to stick with the default options. So the other thing you can do is change the sounds, change a piano sound, which is nice. So it's got synth sounds, string, which aren't bad sounds, but if you have your own decent VSTs, I've got some good VSTs for sounds, I just tend to use the MIDI. So the other thing this has is a detect function. So I'm going to play some chords myself. Yes, I know that sounds horrible, but I'll just fix them up a bit. So once you've made these chords, you can then select in on the scalar, and as you can see here, it is taking this track as its input. And if we go into scalar and click detect, which I already clicked, and press play, so it has detected the chords I played. So let's bring the piano back. So what we can do is save these, and we can call it Great Chords. And there they are. I mean, these are the chords I've just played. I have no idea how to read music, and I know straight away this is a B flat minor 11th in a Dorian mode. So who would have known that I could write such amazing music? So once you do that, then you've got these different modes. And what that is helpful for is to give you the ability to change the song up. You know, if you want to bring different chords in, this is just random at the moment. And let's bring this one here in. So these chords are the ones if we just solo this. So the first 4 chords are the ones I created. And these last 4 chords are the ones that were created by Scalar. Now, another really nice thing I could do here is I can create another MIDI file. I can click on Strumming and bring those 4 chords in, the ones I created. In fact, let's move these up here, because that's already a contact instance. Let's bring them in without strumming, the same 4 chords. bring them up here. And bring in a contact string section. So just literally copy and paste the chords. Duplicate. So these are the same chords but strummed, but we've kept the string arrangement in the background. And then we can copy this into the string arrangement. So that's it. For me, Scalar is actually the winner. And the reason for that is because it's a no nonsense, no fuss tool that gives you lots of really powerful options. And I think what's interesting about it is its simplicity makes it so powerful, but it's got just an immense amount of flexibility. However, on the other side, if you're looking to make house music, deep house music, techno, that type of thing, Captain Chords is probably the answer for you. But I'm kind of in the middle. I like to make a combination of dancey house type music, but also like melodic music and chord transitions. Please feel free to comment, and also obviously if you want to see more of these tutorials, comment, tell me what you want to see, subscribe. Thank you very much and goodbye.